Just in case you don't know, now you know. I tell you, it is what it is. Every Friday we always gather here. I tell you, the dawn is there. Don't mess around. Thank God it's Friday, I tell you. Beautiful day over here, all the way from the United States. Maryland, to be precise. Nice. Sit back. Oh my goodness. Come on, DJ, drop it. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. It's Friday. Intercontinental Sports TV. Your Dawn, the main man is here. I'm talking about the Dawn is here. In the building. I am Lady Val. I have Ope Barry getting ready. Robbie, brother from another mother. Irate in the building. Let me tell you something about Irate. It's a Liverpool fan to the core, but they are not playing well this time around. He got a lot to talk about today, I tell you. Yeah, this is Intercontinental Sport TV. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's do this. It's a community. I tell you, it's gonna be loud today. Today's Friday. DJ, come on, drop it. Oh yeah. First of all, Lady Val, how you doing, sis? Lady Val, talk to me.
I'm doing good. Thank God it's Friday.
Oh, yes, Friday. What's going on?
Yes, so nothing much.
All right, good to see you. Yes. Oh my goodness. All right, Lady Val. Before I bring other analysts in, the crew, they're all set. Please tell me something. What do you have for our viewers today? Tell them something. Go for it, lady.
Okay, people. So today we're going to be talking about 3 interesting things on the show. And the first one is Todd Boehly's All-Star suggestion. We all know he just took over Chelsea Football Club and he's proposing the All-Star match. So we get to see different stars playing against each other. You know, we get to see maybe Cristiano Ronaldo and Mo Salah playing against Gabriel Jesus, Harry Kane. And many fans are thinking, is it going to work or not? So we're going to be talking about that. And the second thing on the show is Gareth Southgate. He already named his squad for the UEFA Nations League. And fans are like, some players are not supposed to be there. Why some? Actually, what are these players doing on the squad? You know, so we have so many controversies with that as well. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about that. And then the EPL games following the Queen Elizabeth's death a few weeks ago. So many games, you know, are piled up, and we are looking forward to the such games being played in incoming weeks. So guys, stay tuned. We have sports analysts actually grounded, and we're going to be discussing all that for today. All right, guys.
All right, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Back. Let me tell you something, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. It is what it is. First, thank you, Lady Val. All right, Irate coming in right now, all the way from New Jersey. What's going on, boss? Irate, talk to me.
Hey, it's done.
I said stop putting this graphics at the back. Stop putting it.
This is the best team in England now. What do you expect? We can't hide it. It's not easy.
All right,
Good
viewers,
to be
you're
back
going to.
here.
All right, good to see you, Irate. I
Thank
tell you, this moment, they're going to see our face just a couple of minutes. I want to bring it the same main man all the way from Nigeria, Opeyade Barry. Opeyade Barry is an Arsenal fan to the core, to the bone, to the flesh. I tell you, he's ready. Opey, what's going on, people?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's a pleasure to be here. A fantastic Friday. I'm happy it's Friday for the first time in a long time. I'm looking forward to the weekend. EPL games back, and then look, it's great. It's great to be here.
Yeah, good to see you, bro. Now, I'm trying to bring in Robbie all the way from Nigeria as well. Robbie, are you there? Talk to me. I think I can find him right now. All right. Let's get into this straight up, guys. It's good to see you. This is the Dawn. Irate, what's going on? You're looking fresh. Tell me something. What's the magic? Is it the pepper soup or what? Tell me.
No, my boys are doing good. We are having players back, so it's a good time to be a Liverpool fan once again. So we're excited. We can't wait for the international break to be over.
But it seems Liverpool is not going to play this weekend. I'm not
Yes,
sure.
it was postponed.
All right. Now, first of all, I want to welcome everybody. Opey, what's going on your side?
Look, man, my boys are trying to get back on track. We had a little hiccup, last Premier League game.
Little, did you call it little?
As far as concerned, it's a little hiccup. On the road to success, you will face challenges. So we had a little challenge, and yes, we're looking to get back on track. So looking forward to our game this weekend against Brentford.
All right, Lady Val, what's going on your side? Let's roll. Now, let me tell you something. Lady Val just said something about what we're going to discuss today. It's about this main man from Chelsea. I don't know why you want to scatter everything. I don't know. But I'm going to start with you, Irate. Look at that first topic. Please, what's your take about this? People want to listen to you now. Now, let's get this straight.
Yeah, there's been a lot of mixed reactions since Todd Boehly, made that statement in a conference. It actually started with talking about Thomas Tuchel and them not having the same plans, going forward for Chelsea, which is kind of strange because over the summer you had him as your coach, you brought in the players he wanted, and now you're saying you didn't see a future with him. So, I think Todd Boehly right now, he should be more focused on trying to convince the Chelsea fans that he's the right owner for this football club. This is a big club in England, one of the biggest clubs in England. And he needs to act like the owner that really wants to be like in the heart of the fans, the way Abramovich was to that club. Because right now he's not doing himself any favors at all with the kind of statements he's making. He keeps showing that he doesn't have a very big knowledge, or he's not ready to learn more about football. He's just coming in from America and trying to do things in certain ways that works in America but doesn't work in Europe. It's two different football atmospheres. So if you're saying, okay, you want to bring this in, could they happen the other way around? Can English owners go all the way to America and say, okay, MLS, let's start promotion and relegation? Is that going to be acceptable in America as well? So he's not doing himself any favors. He's showing he has very little knowledge of football, trying to get a sporting director, paying him £135 per week, more than even players that are actually playing. Is asking Thomas Tuchel if he can play. He asked Thomas Tuchel if he can play 4-4-3. He asked him about 5 times over the transfer window if he asked him, should we bring Ronaldo in? Why don't you just bring Ronaldo in? Why can't you play 4-4-3? Like, this is ridiculous. I've never heard anything like this since I've been watching football. So now him coming out to say this all-star north-south thing, it's not doing it. It's never gonna work in England. It's never gonna work because England is all about traditions. It's all about competition. You have to earn your position at the end of the season. If you are gonna be relegated, it's because you deserve to be relegated. If you're gonna
Yeah.
win the league, it's because you have been the best team over 38 games.
Yeah.
So don't come and give us this Americanized system of, oh, you can just. I mean, I've watched some of their games. It's absolutely soulless. Like, you can just, like, people just go home happy. People losing at home. Nobody is even shouting on anybody. The atmosphere is just dull. Like a New York derby, there were so many empty seats in a New York derby. It didn't look like a derby at all. Even the atmosphere in Idumota versus Shooting Stars is better than what I saw at Red Bull Arena. So I mean, I was he needs to get, first of all, get a football advisor. We know
Yeah.
the likes of Marina, Peter Cech, and Bruce Brock. They've left the club. He needs to bring in people who know about football. You don't hire sporting directors and pay them 135 per week. We had Michael Eros as Liverpool, who was earning about 360 per year. How can you bring in a sporting director and pay him that kind of money? So I feel like he's just spending money around. He doesn't really know how it works here. He brought in Aubameyang, brought in Sterling, brought in players Tuchel wanted, and then fired him. Those are not signs that show that you know what you're doing. He's yet to know about this sport. He needs to take his time, get a football advisor, get a sporting director, and know the way forward before it's too late. And if he has to keep quiet, he should just keep quiet for now and just let people who know about football run football matters. I mean, what he proposed is never gonna work. There's already too many games. Carling Cup is getting started. There's a World Cup this year. We have the FA Cup. I mean, England is the only league, I think, the only top league that has 4 competitions
Can you
that you
imagine?
can play. So bring in Community Shield. There's really no space to fit in this into the calendar. So I know he made the statement. He probably does need to learn more, but it's never gonna work in England. That's my opinion.
All right, thank you, Irate. Straight up, I'm going to ask you now, Okpe Adebari. What do you feel to this, Okpe? Talk to me, Okpe.
I would start by saying that I think Todd Bowley is overexcited about being the owner of Chelsea. I think Todd Bowley is overzealous, and this has come off as disrespectful. This has come off as very arrogant by some of the remarks he has made. I think the first wrong sign for me since he took over Chelsea is him letting go of Marina and Peter Cech. I think that was a very, very bad move. But obviously, both Marina and Peter Cech obviously realized that, this man is coming with a different philosophy, and we're probably not going to enjoy working with him, right? The next bad move he made for me was, going ahead to ask Premier League owners to come for a meeting to discuss, because Todd Bowley strikes as someone who would easily be interested in the Super League. I'm sure when that conversation comes up again, Chelsea will very much be in that conversation, because Bowley likes supremacy, because it's coming from America, in a system whereby you don't have relegation. Players are drafted, and it's a monopoly. I mean, teams just become richer. The rich become richer, the poor become poorer. You get into the league of the big boys when you are able to play with the big boys. However, in England, it's different, and there's a reason why in Europe and everywhere across the world, the sport that we all love is known as football. And then in America, because they love to stand out, it's called soccer, and they've made their different changes to it. Look, you can't come to it's just like someone who is seasoned in European football going over to MLS and saying, okay, you know what, let's start relegation and promotion now, or let us start knockouts. Let's do the league in form of a knockout, or let's do like a proper league and not do it in terms of conferences. Separating the East, the West, and the North. Let's all be in one league. So he's overstepping boundaries. I think that making this suggestion was a bit disrespectful in my own opinion. There's a reason why we have Fantasy Premier League. There's also a reason why we have the Community Shield as the traditional cutting razor for the Premier League. Those words I use are very, very much important, and those words are used because of how significant the Community Shield is. The truth is that the fans are already rebelling against this. This is not something that we want. We don't want ridiculous changes to the Premier League. We only welcome changes that will make things better. Because when you do include this type of game, which is usually played mid-season, it's going to disrupt a lot of things. Just take a look at this season. I don't need to talk about the season that was impacted by COVID. We all know why. But take a look at this season that is being impacted by the World Cup. So for the first time, I'm going to try and play half of the Premier League games before the end of November. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're already going to have midweek fixtures every week till the end of November. Sad, but I mean, that's not possible anymore due to the untimely demise of the Queen of England. So, it's going to be more difficult right now. Also, breaking news coming in just as we started the show, the fixtures on the 1st of October might be delayed due to railway issues in England. So about 6 fixtures are going to be affected just because of that. So we're even going to have more of a fixture congestion pile-up, coming up this season. So the games that will be affected between actually the 1st and the 15th of October, Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur, Crystal Palace versus Chelsea, Fulham versus Newcastle, West Ham versus Wolves, and then the Fulham versus Newcastle game as well, due to the planned rail strikes that is going to take place between the 1st and the 5th of October, pardon me. So, look, just like Arid said already, the English Premier League is around that the English Football Association is one of the few leagues who operates with 4 competitions. I'm talking about the Cotton Razor, which is the Community Shield. We've got the FA Cup, and then we've got the Carabao Cup. The only other top league in Europe that tries to compete with this is France. They've got the Trophy de la Ligue and then Coupe de la Ligue as well. So, but it's not obviously at the same level as what we have at the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. So, England already has enough issues in terms of trying to play. There's no question of the quality of football, but then fixture congestion, we have it going on. We don't need you making such changes. Stick to what you know best. And he doesn't know so much about European football. Obviously, that's so clear. He needs a football director as soon as possible. If not, he might be running Chelsea down the drain. He should take some things from Abramovich. Abramovich was not granting interviews anyhow. Abramovich was not speaking anyhow. Abramovich got people who knew about football and who knew what to do in terms of getting players in. And when Abramovich worked with managers who knew the kind of players he wanted, he gave them the leeway and he signed the players that they wanted. So he needs to take a cue from the best and take a chill pill.
All right. Thank you so much. Lady Va, what's your opinion about this guy from Chelsea? I thought, people have been slagging him about his decision. He wants to, introducing all-star suggestion. And what's your thought about this, Lady Va? Please go for it.
It's not going to work. This is not America. This is England, And I heard a fan was saying that ever since he took over, we've not rested. He's always saying this or saying that, And he's a businessman. He's trying to introduce that into the league, which is not going to work because, like they already said, there are so many fixtures already in the league, and I think the Premier League is not just about the fun. It's about, the excitement, of a team in the relegation zone beating, like a team at the number one spot. So that alone, now coming to change the whole system we have in the league, fans already kicking against it. Even Klopp was saying it's not going to work, So I think I agree with them. It's a no for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a no for everybody. All right, Irate, I'll come back to you right now once again about this second topic. Is really, really going. It says Gareth Southgate name England squad. Irate, let me show you the names we have. The pre-World Cup England squad from the defenders. Your Alex, I don't know what he's doing there.
Alex.
Ben Chilwell. Then this guy, Cody. Eric Dyer, Mark Gucci, Reece James, Harry Maguire.
That's your guy.
Lord Maguire is there. Lord Luke Shaw, and John Stones, Fikayo Tomori, Kera Trippier, and Kyle Walker. Iris, starting from the defense. These are let me say this. These are the squad names. What's your take about all this? What's your take?
Honestly, there's something about Gareth Southgate we should know by now is the fact that this is a very loyal man. He sticks to even. It has to take a whole lot of bad form and for this man to drop you. This is the latest round of international fixtures we have just before the World Cup coming up in November. So he's going to utilize this time to know players is going to drop and players is going to call on.
Yeah.
And people are making a lot of noise about Jadon Sancho. I mean, Jadon Sancho has 3 goals in 6 games. And right now, you can say maybe he should have dropped Jack Grealish or even Bukayo Saka. But I feel like he's just trying out these guys and see if he can get the best. Even Jarrod Bowen has not had a good season so far. Even Mason Mount. I mean, looking at this team, I can tell you only a few players, a handful of players that are playing regularly for their club sides or that are even playing well. Alexander Arnold has not been playing well. Ben Chilwell has struggled for game time. Cody just started playing. Eric Dyer, yes. Maguire, yes. Rhys James has been playing well. Harry Maguire, Harry Maguire is Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw, Luke Shaw has barely had game time. John Stones in and out. Tomori is not having the best time at AC Milan. Kieran Trippier has been good. Kyle Walker has been good. Going to the midfield,
Yeah.
I think the major headache in midfield for me is Calvin Phillips, and I saw
He
it
has
coming
he
when
has not played. He has not even
because,
touched.
in my opinion, Rodri, is the best DMF in that league, and I don't see him benching Rodri for Calvin Phillips. He might maybe later change the system, or maybe when the Carabao Cup starts, of course, Calvin Phillips will be starting that. But I mean, this is not good news for Gareth Southgate, and I think he's going to start Jude Bellingham in the upcoming fixtures ahead of Calvin Phillips. Up front, Ivan Toney, yes, he deserves a call up. Tammy Abraham has been his form has been in and out. Jack Grealish, 100 million pounds. I mean, I remember telling someone, I said, thankfully for Man City, they have Phil Foden they can call on because they sold Raheem Sterling who can play that position. And I just knew Jack Grealish guy was never ready to take up that mantle of making that position his own. For 100 million, he has performed like a player that came on free. Like, I don't even understand. He holds on. When they bought him in the first place, I was like, why did they even buy this guy in the first place? Because his pattern doesn't fit Pep's style. He holds on to the ball too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. So I wonder why they spent 100 million on him in the first place, because he was never going to fit into his pattern. Now he has to be bringing him out of games. And I think after a couple of games, Phil Foden is going to be starting in that position, which is not good news for Jack Grealish. So Gareth Southgate has a headache. The last 2 games, I think they lost to Hungary home and away recently, which some of the players were booed in England after the game. So he needs these fixtures to get back to the level they were in the 2018 World Cup. Because according to the favorites, that is to the bookmakers, they're the second favorites after Brazil to win this World Cup. So he needs these boys. Chilwell, Shaw, these guys are not starting in their club sides. That is the problem he's having right now. So he needs these upcoming fixtures to get back to where they were and make sure these guys are ready for the World Cup. But in my opinion, that's going to be difficult for him because some of these players are struggling either for form or to get minutes in their club side. So, but going with the squad I saw, I'm not surprised. That's Gareth Southgate. He's still going to keep these players for this upcoming round. And if they don't perform well in this round, I think he's going to look at the other players and bring them in for the World Cup.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's okay. I mean, going with this squad from your own point of view, I know you could argue with me that you're expecting, I mean, Ben White to be among this list. I'm sure there's so many players you think should be there. But from your point of view, what do you think about this squad from your own point of view? You know, this guy said he's going to take players in according to their form and everything. But I don't think some of these players here, I've not seen anything from them. I mean, right from the beginning of the season. So let me ask you, Okoye Adebari, what is your take on this?
First of all, when Gareth Southgate took over from England, one of the things I liked about him was the fact that he didn't make any player indispensable. He started off with, you know what, if you're playing good football, if you're in good form, you would always play in my team. But the last two, or rather, don't let me say the last two, because the last squad that he picked was battered due to injuries, right? And some players needed to be brought into the squad. Now I'm taking a look at this squad in particular, and I'm wondering, is he changing his policy? Is he going for consistency in the national team? Because clearly he's not going by good form. If he was going by good form and playing good football, Harry Maguire should not be in the squad. Ben White should in the squad. According to the England management team, said that Ben White is struggling with hip and thigh injury. However, when Mikel Arteta had his press conference today, Arteta was adamant, saying that Ben White is available to play for Arsenal on Sunday. So I take a look at that situation and I'm wondering what exactly is going on. Was it a case of Arteta and Arsenal giving wrong information to the England camp, not wanting their player to be picked? Because I could see that with Brazil. All the Brazilian players in Arsenal were not called up for the Brazilian squad. And I think that's the work of Edu, because we have picture congestion. We need our players to be fit.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Or are they good enough to?
Who are the Brazilian players?
Who are the three Gabis?
Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Gabriel Jesus. So the three of them were not picked. Were not called. So
I think only Gabriel Jesus you can make a case for Gabriel Jesus. The other guys, I don't think you can.
Martinelli. If we're being fair, over the last 1 year, not calendar year, but last 1 year in terms of the season, Tite has had Martinelli and Gabriel Magalhaes as part of his squad. But that's just the truth. So the fact that no Arsenal player from Brazil, that's what I'm going to take out of that. Not that the players are not good enough. I mean, Arsenal has been in good form. Come the start of this season, the players are in tip-top shape coming from pre-season as well. So that's what I like to believe. But with England, number one, Harry Maguire should not be in the squad. I think Ben White should be there. That's the first thing. I have doubts over Conor Cody as well. Individually, coming in from Wolves to Everton, he's been in good form while he was at Wolves. I do believe he deserved his spot in the Nations League squad. However, this season he has not been so constant, maybe because he has a new defensive partner and he's a bit shaky. Everybody else deserves their spot in the squad. In terms of left back, just like you said, Chilwell and Shaw, those guys, they're not playing consistent football for clubs.
Yeah.
I question them a lot. I think England's first choice left back has to be Kieran Trippier, depending on the way, they want to set up. First choice right back has to be James. You could have Kyle Walker there as, someone who can always come in from the bench. First choice left back for me has to be Kieran Trippier. And if they want to go with a three at the back, the left wing back automatically for me has to be like Bukayo Saka, so that you give room for the likes of Ivan Toney, Sterling, and Harry Kane. Although we know that Ivan Toney will probably not have a lot of minutes coming in because he's a new player coming into this frame, but he's someone who is in good form and he should be given time to play good football. Jack Grealish is someone who I don't think deserves to be there. So when you see someone like Jack Grealish in the squad, it's obvious that Gattuso just wants consistency in terms of who has always been in the squad. Same thing goes for Calvin Phillips, And someone who I feel should not be in the squad at all in terms of forward is Jarrod Bowen. I believe Jadon Sancho deserves a cutback. Jadon Sancho has played well during preseason. He's in form. He has started the season well also. I believe he needs that confidence booster because if he's going to have a chance of getting back into the World Cup team, he needs that confidence. I believe he should have taken a spot ahead of Jarrod Bowen, in my own opinion. Bowen has not been in good form. In fact, when he went for Nations League, it was obvious that he was not up to quality with his other England teammates, in my own opinion, even though that was the first time he was a part of the England set. But in terms of quality, if you're a top quality player, you should be able to make an impact in any team you are in. I don't think Jarrod Bowen has that top quality to actually represent the Three Lions. So those are the players that I feel should be in the squad. Ben White should be in that squad. Jadon Sancho should be in that squad. And so those are my thoughts on England squad.
All right, over to you, Lady Val. What's your own take about this England squad? Let me unmute you. You have to unmute your mic. All right. Talk to me.
Okay, so I have so many problems with the squad. The defense, just like Harry Maguire, should not be there. I understand maybe it's the captain thing, but he should not be in that squad. Then Sancho, I also have an issue with that. Jarrod Bowen, so far this season, he has not been impressive. Same with Grealish. And Sancho is a player we know he's very versatile. He can link up, he can play from the wing, central positions. So I see no reason why he did not make that squad. Cases of injury, you need a player that can even come up from the bench, and Sancho is such player. So I don't understand why Sancho is not there. And Also, there's this guy in Tottenham, Sessegnon. That guy is also very good. I don't know why he did not make that list. So, and looking at it, I think Gareth Southgate should be more attacking minded. 12 defenders, like, I really don't get it. So he should try to, utilize more of the attacking players. And I think he made the selection more based on favoritism and maybe repetition of the players. Because looking at the squad, that's all I can say. He put it ahead of the form and playtime the players have gotten so far this season. And Eric Dyer, I have a problem with him and Conor Cody as well. I feel they are actually too slow for me. So when you have tricky and fast forward, that's actually going to be a problem. And I think so far, Tony is the first Brentford player to be called upon after a very long time. So I know he's going to do very well because he's actually got a very great form this season. And I think that's my problem. That's all I can say for now. So let's just see how it goes and what the players can bring to the table.
All right, welcoming Professor Tuka all the way from Nigeria. Talk to me, Prof. What's your take about this?
Welcome, everybody. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
We've changed his name to Prof. Bolly now.
Well, I think the lady VR has spoken well. She echoed my thoughts because I when I look at that squad, straight away what comes to my mind is reputation and favoritism. I think the manager Gareth Southgate has gone for players that he trusts. Which I might not argue too much about. Harry Maguire has no doubt about it put in a very good performance for England. Every time he puts in the England shirt, he's been a different player. So I can understand why he's going with Harry Maguire, and the fact that he went with so much defenders, for me, it gives me an idea that he might want to go with a back three. If you look at these defenders, likes of Conor Cody and Eric Dyer, they are all playing in the back three with their club. So I don't think England has two defenders. I don't think they have enough quality to go with the back four. I don't think they have two strong centre backs that are good enough. So I won't be surprised if Gareth Southgate goes back to a back three, which we all know he has done before. Ryan Sessegnon, like I said, should be, like she said, Lady Vera, I think should have made it to the team as well. Luke Shaw has no business being there, and for me, Alexander-Arnold should have been dropped as well. To be honest, he's been shambolic this season.
I agree.
No. I mean, the defenders. He has taken 3 right backs already in Kyle Walker.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, Kyle Walker.
Yeah. So I think Arnold should.
If he doesn't pick Arnold, who would he have picked for a right back position?
He doesn't have to pick a right back. That's what I'm saying. He already has 3. So you could pick Sessegnon, or you could pick an attacking player. Yeah, he could. No, you could. I'm saying he should have dropped Luke Shaw. He should have dropped Luke Shaw, and then he should have picked more attacking players. That's the thing. Look, if you look at this midfield now, for me, it's very light. I should have gone for more. I feel like the English players at this moment in time are not all that performing. To be honest, if you look across board, I don't think there's anyone putting up trees in so far in the league. I'm sure they will all come good, but so far, really nobody I can see is taking the league, the season by storm yet. So I won't be surprised if England just go to the tournament and really don't do well, which I think they would. I think they would not do well in the tournament because I don't think they have enough quality.
I mean, that jersey, with that ridiculous jersey that they draw for them, I don't see them.
So I don't think they will meet. I don't think they'll match up to the expectations that we have. But yeah, when I saw that lineup, it's pretty much what I expected of him. Maguire, like I said, I think he was always going to go to the World Cup.
That's what Kunle is saying, that Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw making England World Cup is not a surprise about. Maguire is a different breed of England, and people should realize this. Well, I think Maguire at this point in time is going to the World Cup, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
He's going, definitely.
Definitely is going to go. World Cup. Yeah, straight up. So once again, it's been fantastic. I was thinking I missed a call. Maybe the person can call back. I don't know how I missed it, but that is this. And another comment for Mota Joe Omolola says only Gabriel Jesus can make the Brazilian score right now. but the national team is spoiled for choice right now, and the players need to put on their best foot forward every week to be considered. I think I agree with that. But Gabriel Jesus is not bad. I mean, he hasn't been playing bad.
I don't agree with that because for Brazil don't have a lot of out and out strikers. I would be surprised if Bobby Firmino still made the squad, in terms of goals, because apart from Gabriel Jesus, I believe the next person has to be Richarlison in terms of a striker. The next best striker for Brazil will probably be Gabriel Barbosa, Gabigol, who plays for Flamengo. Except Tite wants to go with a false sign, because false for with Vinicius, who is in good form. Neymar is in fantastic form this season. Hopefully, he's fit enough to make the World Cup. So Gabriel Jesus not going, I'll be very surprised. If Gabriel Martinelli doesn't make the squad, I will be surprised. But even in terms of defense, except Fabinho is going to be as a center option, I expect Gabriel Mark also to be part of that Brazil squad.
All right, let me come back straight to Prof. Tuchel right away. You were not there when we were mentioning about your club owner, this guy, TODD. What's your opinion about his all-star suggestion? I'm sorry that I'm bringing this back for our viewers.
I'll just quickly touch on it. I feel like he's just walked through the door, and he's just giving a lot of people things to talk about. He's only just walked through the door, and he hasn't even gotten the team Chelsea FC in a proper stead yet. And for him to now keep suggesting these things, I mean, for me, I don't think it's a bad idea. I know a lot of people have been coming out to say we have lots of games in England, but look, the English Premier League is box office, and when you have Premier League managers likes of Pep, I mean, I saw Pep's interview, and to me, it strikes me as a man that would not mind having such tournaments where it's not all-star tournaments, because when we have this tournament.
Sorry to cut you short. Pep's thoughts didn't show he was interested in that kind of thing, because I actually just watched it, and
if Pep wasn't interested, when they asked him about it, when they asked you,
it was being sarcastic. Pep said, he said, give me a date and time, and I'll be there.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he knows there's no date and time.
No. I don't see that as sarcasm. Honestly, I feel like, look, this is Pep, an all-star tournament like that. You can't look past Pep as the manager of the all-star team. This is what Pep Guardiola is made for. We all know he's a manager that manages this sort of things. He is managing the best teams in the world with all the best players. Straight away that is something that he will lick his lips over. I don't feel like Pep would turn that sort of opportunity down, whether I would like it or not. I think that these sort of things are going to happen. These sort of tournaments are still going to happen in the future, no matter how we want to shy away from it. This Premier League has become such a big venture now, so massive, that I feel like it's still going to get to a point where we'll be having these sort of tournaments. Honestly, I mean, we kicked against the Super League, but it's going to come back in disguise one way or the other. It's just going to happen. I feel like it's inevitable. It's too early for Todd Bowley to be coming in and be pulling his weight around like that. Some people felt it was arrogance. It was smeared of arrogance, of serious arrogance coming into the Premier League. Having just walked into the door and spent so much money, and then now deciding what the Premier League can do and what not. I feel like he should take a chill pill and get the team that he has bought first back into being champions first, and then let them know what you're doing first before you can start suggesting things like that. Like I said, I don't feel Pep will actually turn it down. Klopp, some managers have come to say, look, we have enough games already, but I feel like it's going to be inevitable on the long run.
All right. Well, that's that for that. Let's go to the third topic. I swear down. Let me read this. Let's go into this EPL congestion. Irate, I'm going to start with you again. These EPL games, they are piling up, considering the fact that there's going to be World Cup this season. I mean, a couple of months now, we'll be having a serious game, and so many players will be going to the World Cup, and they keep pushing it back. I don't know how they're going to solve it. Are we going to be looking at in a week we'll be seeing 2 matches going to be played? Or what's your take about this EPL
it's already, the calendar is already about like that. I think the only way for England right now is to get a permission from the European Commission just to extend the season, maybe only for England. I don't know if that is possible because already the calendar is so tight for next year after the World Cup. Like teams are going to be playing, most teams, especially the big teams, will be playing midweek weekend. So right now, I think there's only one available slot available for next year. Now there are going to be 2 games postponed, and as Okwe said, after the international break, if the strike goes through, that's going to be 3 games for some of these teams postponed.
Yeah.
Where are you going to fit that into the calendar? And for me, it was a very bad decision
It was a
because
bad decision.
it was very bad for not to play last weekend because they were
Honestly.
allowed to play. They were actually allowed to play, but they decided, oh, we don't want to play, or as a mark of respect and things like that. Now, how are you going to fit these games in? Because this weekend, Liverpool is not playing. That's 2 games already. I'm using Liverpool as an example. And imagine if it was the case last season when Liverpool were in 4 competitions up until the last few weeks of the season. How is the squad going to cope with that? So I really don't know who's making the decisions in England, but it doesn't make any sense. In a World Cup year, you were given the opportunity to play in a weekend, and you are not. I mean, we all know that next weekend the burial, Queen Elizabeth burial is on Monday, so there's gonna be issues with policing. So we can all agree to that. But this last weekend they should have played at least to reduce the congestion for next year. So I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be a case of a game every 2 days or thereabouts, or at least for some weeks next year. But or they are probably going to extend the season in England. I think those are the only 2 best scenarios. But right now it's so tight, we can't afford to have another week where games will be postponed. That's how tight. And I've seen these cases where even in Europe it affects British teams, especially the Premier League. People have always talked about it. Oh, the Premier League, when Premier League was not doing well for some time in UEFA Champions League, or is it because there's 4 competitions, you have 2 cup competitions and things like that? So it's definitely not going to help English teams going forward. And in the FA, the Premier League, they need to do better. The Premier League FA need to do better in terms of these games. If there's any way they can have games being played, they should try to play it in this coming weekends and not get next year's calendar, which is already packed, more congested, in my own opinion.
Okay, Adebari, what do you think about this? This game congestion at the moment.
If it's possible, if it's possible to extend the Premier League season, I would love for that to happen because currently we have 6 Premier League teams who are competing in Europe, and they're obviously going to progress, or rather, we expect these teams to progress past the group stage, right? The more they progress in these European tournaments, the more games they have to be played. In a couple of weeks, Carabao Cup is going to resume. We'll have more Premier League teams involved in the Carabao Cup. Come the beginning of January, the FA Cup starts again. We already know, I already spoke about the European competition, so it's going to be difficult. I don't think it's realistic to play probably 2 games every day, especially when we're not even in the usual December period. We're not having that this year, obviously. And I think it's going to take a toll on the players, and it's not going to be fair. I think this is going to be a reason why a lot of teams will have to spend money in January because you need a team with good quality. I believe every team has to be aiming towards having, or rather, every team should be aiming towards at any point in time during a game, you would have quality players who can give you the same results. It's needed, but it's not going to be the same across board. We're still going to have the big boys dominating at the end of the day, but then the big boys, what happens to their players? Fatigue is going to come in. Injuries are going to come in, are going to set in as well. I mean, just take a look at the start of the season. Arsenal is already suffering from it. I think Manchester City is going to suffer from it because they don't have some players who are physically 100% fit. Emric Laporte is going to be out for a long period of time. Ruben Diaz is not back to 100% fitness. That's why he's not starting games consistently. That's why Manuel Akanji was bought and he has been starting games since he arrived. Sergio Gomez needs time to adapt to the Premier League, and then Jack Grealish is not hot in form. So these teams are going to suffer at the end of the day. Liverpool have issues with their midfield. Naby Keita and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, their long-term injury layoffs. It's a problem for them. Good thing they have Thiago back. The question is how long is he going to be available for? So teams are going to suffer one way or the other. So I feel it's going to have a bad effect. Hopefully there is that solution to say, okay, maybe let's extend the Premier League. You know what? We've already had the World Cup. We're not having a summer tournament. What's the worst that could happen? Extend the Premier League, hopefully.
Yeah. Prof.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what's your take on this?
I mean, it's just like the boys have said, it's a mess at the moment. You know, like Eric said, they shouldn't have cancelled the games. I felt like if you allow other people go to work, I know they consider the Premier League the poster boys and order for the league, the biggest thing happening to English Premier to the world out of England, blah blah blah, and they should not have played the game but I don't see any reason why they should have taken it too far. I feel like they should have played the game, you know, taking into consideration the amount of fixtures that they have piled up already, and the World Cup and all that. But yeah, hopefully, I'm sure they will look for a way around it. They will be able to possibly extend the fixtures, like Ope said, the Premier League season, or find a way to juggle it and maybe have 2 games per week. You know, and this is the reason why a lot of these big teams have all invested in a lot of players. You know, and then there's also the 5 substitution rule. So it shouldn't tell much, because I can't imagine this happening last season where we have just 3 substitutions. It would have been terrible. But now there's 5, so it's a little bit easier on the players. So I think they will cope. They earn big money. Some people are of the opinion that these players earn a lot of money, and this is the time for them to, you know, to earn their money by playing all the games. You know, some people don't believe we should have pity on the players because of how much they earn. But this is what it is. So yeah, I think
it is what it is. Okay, what do you say?
Yeah, I said they are human beings. Yeah, they are human beings at the end of the day.
Yeah,
you
they are
know,
human
and
beings.
I think as fans, what we don't realize is that if you overwork these players, you'll not get the best out of them, and you'll be disappointed. You won't see the best out of them. If we continue with this fixture list, for a team like Manchester United, who don't have a fit top out-and-out striker, it's going to be a problem for them. Marcus Rashford has picked up a thigh strain. But then good news, Mason Greenwood seems to be coming back into the team. It's just sad to say that Cristiano Ronaldo looks washed, and he doesn't seem like someone who can work in that high press system by Ten Hag. Teams are going to suffer. So if the big boys in England are suffering, then what's there to even consider about the mid-table teams and the lower table teams? We might not just have a competitive league like we're used to.
All right. Okay, one more thing I want to ask you right now is about, you know, this. Kunle mentioned something in the comment. He said the EPL needs EFL Cup needs to be scrapped. It's not needed. The FA Cup is enough for all English clubs to participate in. What do you think about it?
I think it would be a difficult thing to do. The EFL Cup is known as the English Football League. You know, at first it was the Carling Cup, now it's known as Carabao Cup. So the EFL Cup can be it's the same as the Copa del Rey, it's the same as the Coppa Italia, you know. But then the FA Cup is a special knockout competition. First of all, it is the oldest cup competition in the history of football, you know. So that is an inventory from the English Football Association. So it's going to be a fight between the English Football Association and a sect out of them who developed the English Football League. It's going to be a problem. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think English football as a whole takes a lot of pride in those 2 competitions. I don't see it happening because it doesn't happen in any other top league in the world. Like I said earlier on in the show, France tries to do it, you know, with the Coupe de la Ligue and Trophy de la Champion, but it doesn't work effectively. It comes in, season out. They don't always play those 2 competitions every single season.
So what I'm going to say about that is I don't agree with Conley for it to be scrapped. Like Okwe said, England, there's customs and there are traditions in these countries. They can't just scrap these things. These are games that have been played for years. They have archives of these games. So you can't just say, okay, like there's a lot of work on the players and you want to scrap it. It doesn't work that way. But for me, I think they can kind of do some sort of remodeling. Like, for example, FA Cup, the replay thing can be scrapped. If you just play a particular game, just go straight to penalties and that's it. Then
we have to also realize
semi-final.
that a lot of it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, finish. You can finish.
Yeah, also the semi-finals of the Carling Cup, playing home and away, I don't think you need it. Just one game is needed. And also, please keep Wembley for the final of the FA Cup. I think it's ridiculous that you're playing the semi-finals at Wembley. So they can just do some sort of remodeling, just kind of like make it look more special and, reduce the workload on the players, especially for the teams competing in Europe. With West Ham, we have about 7 teams competing in Europe this season, with West Ham in Conference League. So you can as well just scrap those replays, scrap those 2-leg formats for the semi-finals of Carling Cup. And I think that will help the teams a lot, especially the teams in Europe.
All right, let me quickly run the game for this weekend. One is going to start in the moment. That's Aston Villa versus Southampton, Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. On Saturday, we have Wolves at home for Man City coming into Wolves. And Newcastle as well will be welcoming Bournemouth tomorrow, and Spurs versus Leicester City. And the banana skin for the weekend on Sunday is going to be Brentford versus Arsenal. I hope. I was telling you that you guys I had a dream. I had a dream. You guys lost the match.
You need to go back and have the dream again. Honestly, the dream needs to be corrected.
Oh my God. And the last one for the weekend is going to be Everton versus West Ham. I mean, it's going to be massive for this. I'm going to look at whether I can do the watch along for the Brentford Arsenal. I really want to watch that match. And I hope Papa will join me for that watch along. So that hopefully we know how to banter and it is what it is. On this final note, we're going to wrap up the show. No doubt about it. It's been fantastic. Without mentioning this guy, we have to mention it in a quick one. Roger Federer, the world best, the GOAT in this game, announces his retirement, and he has said goodbye to that game. And what do you say about this guy, Roger? Roger is out.
I think I should just say a big thank you to him on this platform. A big thank you for giving us legendary games, with Nadal, with Djokovic, and look, a big thank you to the king of grass. I'll just end it that way.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to sign up from here. It's been a fantastic show, no doubt about it. Irate, thank you so much. One love, bro.
Thank you so much, brother.
All right. Prof. No game for Chelsea over the weekend.
There are no games. But we'll watch the Arsenal games. And
everybody full ground. We're full ground. We're full ground for Arsenal game. Thank you so much, Prof. And also one thing, thank you so much. On Sunday, we know how to wake up. No doubt about it.
Definitely.
All right,
have a great weekend, guys.
All right, one love, bro. All right, one more comment from Kunle is saying Irate is the same tradition in England that made Premier League games postponed last week. The coin is too important as well. England gets too much wahala. That is how we can take it for this week. Everybody, please smash a like on the video before you all go. Please smash a like. This is another way to help the community. Please smash it. Share this video. Let's build up a community. It is what it is. It's Friday. Your main man, the Don, in the building. Signing out. Thank you so much. One love, everybody.